quick audio test. Right, hello guys, and welcome to a stream. I don't think I actually filled this thing up. Just thinking now. I don't believe I did. So no, I didn't. So go with about 50. Let's go 60% of fuel again. Because why not? And that didn't work. 60. There. Cool. It's better. I'm trying to get for you guys Skytrack. Obviously this Project Fly isn't working. I'm just not using it now. Because I seriously doubt it's going to work again. So yeah. Sadly that's that, I guess. Yay! Yay, it works. Okay, that's nice. Using window capture rather than... Right, I'll just put... So I'll move it down to there. And I just want to crop out some of the unneeded information. I'm not sure how small this will be for you guys. It might be absolutely tiny, in which case you can't read it. I think that's as big as I'm going to be able to make it. Hopefully you guys can see that. Because I don't believe I'm going to be able to make it any different. So that's what that looks like for now. We're going to have to see if that's a good idea or not. So I'll start a flying club flight look, and you should, there you go, you can see starting fuel. I don't know, it might be quite small for you guys. I'm going to have to wait and see. So today we are flying from here in Kapfenberg to Wiener Neustadt, quite close to Vienna, and then onwards from there we're flying to Vienna, and that's it. That is the Alpine Valleys tour finished. End. Done. Nothing else. So have we got sound? That's another thing I'm wondering. I don't appear to have much sound. Just try doing Control E. Nope, we have sound. We're okay. So hopefully you guys can see that okay. Maybe a few phone users, it'll be a bit difficult. On my phone, certainly. I don't know what P this is in. On phones, it tends to limit it to 360p unless I tell it something else. In which case I just have now. The maximum on a phone is actually 720p, but it seems almost impossible to get it to listen to you. Because I put in, I'll just put watching VR by accident. Okay, nice. Right, I'll click on it again and hopefully we have some better luck. I don't know, it doesn't look like we're going to have any problems for for, what's it called? We're not going to have any problems, hopefully, with altitude at the moment. I'm wondering now, though, now I've got Skytrack to capture, can you guys read my GPS as well? Because it would be really cool if you could. So, because I've only just discovered this, it's called a window capture inside. Okay, it doesn't appear that we have. Okay, it doesn't appear that I can find the GPS, unfortunately. I'm trying some other windows. Doesn't appear that we've got anything, so sadly, I don't think I can pick up the GPS with any of these captures, so we're just going to have to leave it for now. So you can't see my GPS, but oh well, we'll just live with it, won't we? You can see all the other things. You can see Skytrack, which is an improvement, so. In fact, you're able to see just a little bit about how I'm flying is nice. You're able to see the flight duration and the distance flown. It doesn't give you any other information, like ETA, that sort of stuff, but it's a start. It is just 45 miles away, it's not far, and it's quite simple terrain. So we're just going to depart straight out.
Echo Mike Alpha Delta, request taxi for takeoff, departing straight out. Beach Oscar Echo Mike Alpha Delta, taxi to and hold short of runway 7, contact tower on 119er.
We're already on runway 7, you silly game. We had to spawn in. This is what was annoying, I had to spawn in on the runway, it wouldn't let me spawn anywhere else. And air traffic is active, that's nice. I'm wondering if it just said Katzenberg then, or maybe something different. I couldn't quite hear that. Right, so we're off. Right, leg number 20 now. Leg number 20 out of 21. Here in Katzenberg, down to Wiener Neustadt. From there, it is onwards to Vienna, where we will finish this trip. It's been a long thing. It's been lasted a couple of months now, actually. But we will finish, and it feels like I'm not getting any power into this thing. Maybe it's just a short runway. Because I'm not able to... Oh! Lift off before the fence! Eek. That was close. I'm going to have to let the vertical speed indicator do its thing here. It's a very straightforward journey. I'm going to have to... There you go. Enable the heading, and then that allows me to do what I want. So it's straight on from here, really. Nothing else to bother doing. So looking here... Actually, I'll start my clock. It's an altitude of 900 feet, so it's not too high up. Compared to this airport, which was a lot more high up. But I think going up to 6,000 and staying there will be enough. Right. Next. Because since this is such a straightforward route, we can just use the nav. And hopefully we don't run into any problems with it. I want quite a slow climb so we can gain some speed, because obviously terrain is not an issue currently. Since we're 42 miles away, I cannot contact the airport just yet, so we'll hook on to Vienna Centre. I might be able to go to 5,000 even, because there's literally no crazy terrain anywhere around here, so 5,000 will be a good enough altitude. I probably could make 4,000, but I don't want to be too short with it. I'd like to have a bit of room. We've got quite decent speed going, 14 minutes this thing's it'll take. And there's the numbers on Skytrack, and I can read them on my monitor, which is like a 22-inch. my recording monitor. So, and the one I'm playing on is a 24-inch. So, I don't know. It is still a smaller window again because it's inside OBS. So it's probably more like maybe 16 inches. What I'm viewing. So for monitors, computer monitors or laptops, it should be fine. But for tablets or phones, yeah, on my phone it's readable, but it is in 360p. So unfortunately my phone doesn't let me change it. Even I want to take it out of auto mode, but it doesn't listen to me. Yeah, my phone doesn't allow me to change it. I'm clicking on the button that changes it and it just does absolutely zero. So my phone's not a good example for what it'll look like. I'll look at it on a smaller window. It is unfortunately just how it is, I guess. We're gonna have to deal with it. But it's better than no overlay whatsoever. Obviously it would be lovely to have the Project Fly overlay. But as far as I'm aware, there's no ETA on the fix. So I might try it in a couple of weeks again, but we're not trying it today because I have been told by the staff there it's just there's no ETA on the fix. It might, yeah, they just need to wait on it. Basically, they might get a fix for it, or who knows, it might be without it forever. Because Project Fly, I do know, doesn't really seem to have a lot of support. Unfortunately, it just doesn't seem. It's a free project made by a couple of, one of the YouTubers I watch, the Flight Sim YouTubers, runs it. Right, it does go a bit higher, the terrain up here, so I'm thinking maybe we need to go up to 6,000 to just make sure we clear that sort of big area of terrain up here. 6,000 should be enough though to clear it. I was hoping we could have stuck at 5,000, but it doesn't look like we're going to be able to do that, so up we go. So we're passing 5,300 feet. You can't see anything like my altitude on here. It's a shame you can't see more like we got with the Project Fly overlay, but it doesn't seem like that's coming back, at least for a while, as I've said already. Right, we're 32 miles out, so at any point now, we'll be able to contact the airport, because we are just 31 miles out now. There it is, Wiener Neustadt Ost. I may have traffic. Runway 10 we're going to use then.
Lima, Oscar, Alpha, November, traffic.
And we're still 31 miles out.
Mike, Alpha, Delta is 31 miles.
So we're going to
5,700.
obviously
Runway 10.
have to wait on it a little bit. There's still a little bit of time to go yet, so this thing's 10 minutes. And then Vienna is quite a busy airport, so for once, we haven't actually seen some proper traffic for absolutely ages, so we're going to get some proper traffic landing into Vienna, which will be interesting. And the hop between here, Wiener Neustadt, ICAO code is Loan, which is quite funny. So from Loan to Vienna, it's about 20 nautical miles. I would check actually. So low. Literally low is the ICAO code for Vienna, so they've got some funny ones in Austria. So we go from Allo GK, so that's like logic, to loan, and then on to low. So we've got some logic, so we apply for a loan, it goes bad, so then we're feeling low. Okay? Well, I guess I can say that. That works, right? I don't know why I just made that up. Makes almost no sense. And it'll also be completely flat ground between Wiener Neustadt and Vienna. Is it like Vienna Neustadt or Wiener Neustadt, or the W's a V, so it's like V. It could be Vienna, or maybe I think it's Vienna. I think it's probably just Vienna. What's Vienna in Austrian? I've forgotten. I definitely used to know, because Vienna in Austrian is definitely not just Vienna. I don't think it is anyway. Who knows? Who knows? Certainly not me. And now we're reaching proper cruise speed. This is saying 7 minutes to get to our next airport. I'm expecting Vienna to be fairly busy, but who knows? Have to observe all the other traffic in Vienna as well, which will be interesting. It's a bit more stuff to do. I can just rock around the controls all I want because it's on navigation, look. Yay! That's just... Oh, I just knocked my keyboard. My sleeve got caught on it. – 6,000 feet is our altitude. We are just 20 nautical miles off Lone. Well, at least that's the ICAO code at least, isn't it? So we'll just do another little position check. I don't understand why I bother doing this because I don't think any other aircraft fly into these airports really. And the airport is pretty much straight ahead. The runway is pretty much straight ahead of us, which is nice. You know, for once we've got a bit of a nice runway sort of layout. For now, we're just sort of making our way through the Austrian countryside, and we should see Vienna in the distance at some point. We're about 40 miles from Vienna, I guess, if we're flying in the same direction, because currently we're 17 miles from Wiener Neustadt, and then it's another 20 miles after that, so we're about 37 miles from Vienna in terms of flying miles. In terms of direct miles, I don't know. Vienna's not going to show up on my map, is it? No. Actually, I could probably look at it on nearest. Here you go. It is currently 35 nautical miles away. Cool. And we're just 15 nautical miles away, or 4 minutes away. I think now we're at some lower terrain, we can descend to 4,000 feet. Because this terrain is so low. It just doesn't matter, really. So we'll descend at 1,000 feet per minute, because why not? We may as well maintain, like, max throttle still. Because obviously we're not properly descending, we're just descending down to 4,000 to make our approach just that little bit easier. Because we want to be about 3,000 feet above the airport. Being 5,000 feet above the airport is, you know, it's not as easy to see the airport, it's not as easy to approach, so we don't really want it. And we're 13 miles out, and I should see it, because we only have to turn to the left very slightly. Because we're landing on runway 10, and we're currently heading of 056. So we're okay for that. And we're just passing through 5,000 feet now. And we're 11 miles out, so that looks like an airport. I think that's the one. So I'm gonna... Can I fiddle with the heading? Actually, I'm just gonna do it manually. It's a lot easier. And we'll go down to 3,000 feet. And this is where I now throttle back. Because I can see the airport. This better be the right airport. I don't think there's any others around here. Obviously, we won't get anything in terms of a landing rate, but, you know, if it's a smooth landing, who cares? I mean, to be honest, as long as we don't just, like, crash it into the earth, we should be okay. That's the airport there. I want to head alongside the airport and then turn in, at which point we will be on final.
Lima, Oscar, Alpha, November, traffic, Beach, Oscar, Echo, Mike, Alpha, Delta is 7 miles southwest, 4,000.
And we're getting lower now,
Runway 10.
which is nice. And we'll go exactly 2,000 above the airport, so down to 2,800 feet, which is 2,000 above, so that should be a pretty good approach path. And we'll throttle back quite a bit now to try and reduce some speed. Because obviously I don't use flaps in this thing because it gets stupidly unstable whenever you go near them. We're pretty much on final now. Right, the gear's going down now to help slow us down. We are just 4 miles out now, so we'll turn to the left. Maybe I could have had a bit more time on the approach path, but we're okay. So we'll try and go idle pretty much to slow this thing down. I forget how sensitive this thing is on the controls. For like an airport that has no tower or anything, it looks fairly good. It's got pappy lights and everything. Like that other one was just a grass field. It didn't even have any stands. I mean, its ATC tower was literally attached to a caravan, and yet it had one. And this place doesn't. I mean, there must be, like, in real life, there must be some sort of, like, flying school there or something that makes it worthwhile having a flight school. Like, no, worthwhile having a tower there. There must be something like that that obviously we don't get in the game. Maybe that's what the caravan's for, who knows. It makes sense considering there were no stands, so you couldn't really have much in the way of... Obviously nothing commercial. This airport can't support anything commercial. There's not really a proper tower or anything. Although I've seen airports like this have a tower before, so I'm surprised it doesn't, because it's got taxiways and stands and that sort of thing. So you'd almost expect it to have a tower of some sort. Maybe it has a ground control, possibly. Oh, well, the ground control tends to be on the same frequency at these smaller airports. Right, I think we're gonna... Oh, we've missed that turn off, unfortunately. Like, would have rather made, but it doesn't look like we're gonna be able to make it. Oh, there you go. I can turn around here, so I can make the turning. Or we could just cut across the grass, since it's an airport with no air traffic control whatsoever, and no traffic on the ground. So it doesn't technically matter what on earth we do. And our park facing outward as well. I don't get this airport has like a terminal, it has stands, it has everything, and yet there's no traffic on the ground at all. No ATC. Like, what's going on? It's a bit weird. So we'll just park it up here. I didn't stop the clock either. It's about 14 minutes, for those of you who are wondering. So we can stop recording now. That's flight number 20. Next one is off to LOWW. Welcome everybody to Wiener Neustadt. Off to And we're now off to Vienna. Finally. This place is a bit more crazy. Start the next flight and we can just go, basically. How much fuel we got? We've still got 55% of the tank. Cool. Off we go then. It's as simple as that with VFR flying. Let both engines start. Just wait for the pressure to drop back down to normal levels. And we can go. What runway will we need? I think we'll take runway 10. It's the one we landed on, so it's. I don't think there is an active runway, really.
Lima, Oscar, Alpha, November, traffic, beach, Oscar.
It's a very short taxi, which is nice.
Taxi into runway 10.
It's got a bit of a longer runway than the other one we took off from, and obviously we're a bit lighter on fuel, so hopefully it won't be much of a problem for us actually getting off the ground. Unlike before, where we almost grazed the catch fence. Which wasn't great. We'll go up to about 4,000 feet, I think. As, you know, Vienna Airport, most of its approach patterns are going to be around there. Full power. Let's try and do something. Start the clock. There. Right. 80 knots. We can rotate about now. The autopilot cannot handle the altitude. That's partially because I'm a moron. Right. Vienna, LOWW.
Vienna Tower.
And straight away we can just request landing.
Delta is 20 miles southwest with Mike to land. Beach, Oscar, Echo, Mike, Alpha Delta, Vienna.
And we want to land runway 34.
Runway 34, altimeter 29er 2. Flight left.
So we'll put on an approach, so I know where on earth we're going. Not islet, there you go, VOR runway 34. Activate that. And that'll tell me roughly where we're going. Actually, I think we can just ignore that now. Unfortunately, I think maybe we shouldn't have gone with that approach. Because I actually want to just, like... fly leg, hopefully that's... There you go, I've activated the new route. And that sort of helps me pick up when we're going with this. I can actually see... Let's just go through 3,000 feet. Because I can actually see what looks a bit like Vienna Airport. Because it's a big airport. And I want to head slightly off course so we can join up with the approach path a little bit early. It's such a short flight to Vienna. So short. That looks like Vienna Airport. It is Vienna Airport. And there's nothing at all on the tower frequency, which is a bit crazy. I would have expected something on tower frequency, but I guess not. And after this, I'm not sure what tour you guys want me to do. You can have a look at the Fly UK website you got yourself, guys. go to Flying Club and then look at tours, and you can see the tours. So if you have anything to suggest, please do suggest. There's something there that's inbound ILS 34. Obviously we're going to be going a lot slower than these. I'm at 8 miles away, we're 13. So that's a Finnair. Obviously these things are massive compared to our planes, so obviously we'll have to give them priority. Are they birds? They look suspiciously bird-like. They are birds. Oh dear. Hopefully we don't have any problems with those things. They look a bit too high up. I wonder in this, if you hit a bird, do you get a bird strike? That's one thing I'd like to know. I've never obviously really investigated that. I've never even hit a bird. I've seen them, but I've never hit them. So who knows, we might end up hitting them now I've said that. Right, if that's the airport. I thought that was a runway. It looks seriously like a runway, but it's obviously not a runway, surely. It just looks really runway-like, but it's so long. Unless I'm just used to seeing big, like, small runways in this aircraft. We're only 8 miles away, like... That's obviously Vienna Airport, got some Austrian planes on the ground there. And there are runways. I think that is a runway, some of these big things. They might just not be the same runway. Also, this runway we're heading at, I think that's the one we've got to land at. So I'd say we need to turn a little bit here, so we can join the path, the approach path a bit better. It is a fairly big airport. It looks like it's mostly Austrian on the ground. I think it's smaller than I thought it was. There's a couple of GAs and stuff, but there doesn't appear to be much in the way of other airlines. We've got a Qatar, we've got a lot, a Luxair, I think that was. And it looks like a plane is landing on that runway. No? Yes, that's the Finnair. That I knew about. Whoa, this plane does not react well to me pulling out the autopilot, does it? And we are just 5 miles away already. This is going to be a very short VFR stream, because it's had 2 fairly short and easy flights, which is normally we've had, you know, a bit different to that. So I don't know. This will probably be a really short stream. Oh well. I'm looking at about 40 minutes, which is very short. They tend to be about 50 minutes to an hour and 10. But I guess it's the last one, so obviously the last leg, because we have to get to Vienna, we couldn't really have gone straight to Vienna from that last airport. Right, considering we're following the aircraft on the runway, we might, at least we don't have to go around. So going around could add some time. But since they're now saying, oh, I accidentally said repeat transmission. I thought I said acknowledge landing clearance. That was my bad. Right, we're turning to the left here. This is the first big runway I think I've landed at in this thing, you know, ever. Obviously we took off from, was it Nice? It's unusual seeing such a big runway in this thing. It is unusual. Right, turn left here. And I can see all the planes on the ground. It's a fairly big airport, but it's not massive. Here's the runway. Here it is, people. Time to touch down here in Vienna to mark the end of this series. It's been going for ages, this series, and we are going to continue this series on another tour. What tour that is, I am not sure yet. I will have to have a look at the tours. I'm thinking possibly the Swedish VFR tour. Obviously, if you guys are open to suggestions, please suggest, or maybe something that isn't on Fly UK's website. Who knows? Maybe something a bit unusual. You can suggest. maybe we can do a little tour of the UK that I make up. I don't know. I'd rather stick to one that Fly UK do, partially because it's a good way of getting activity hours with them. Like, because you have to fly a flight every month, so it's quite a good way of doing that. And I know what I'm doing, because I don't know half of these small airports. I'm not very good with them. I know the bigger ones, but the smaller ones I just don't know very well. And there we are, guys, down for the last time on this Austrian runway. Also, I have forgotten to mention, I should have mentioned it at the start of the stream really, I know Flight B went down, obviously. Very sad about that, actually. A lot of the local airports in the UK it does affect quite badly, which is a shame. So I was wondering, we could do, like when Thomas Cook went down, we could do a sort of commemorative stream. I don't get on with the Majestic Dash 8 very well, but we could definitely do some flights with that. Hopefully it doesn't, because the Majestic Dash 8 has some weird texture glitches that can appear randomly. It's a known bug, and it does drive me a bit nuts. And things like that. But I think I'd definitely be willing to do a stream on it. Obviously, like with the Thomas Cook one, I'm a bit late, given my streaming timetable. I totally forgot about it when I scheduled my stream for the last week. So on Saturday, we're going from Cardiff to Turin, and then the Saturday after that, I can't stream. So, oh no, I clicked taxi to the gate. I don't want a taxi to a gate. I want a taxi to parking. That's annoying. I think I can change that. Can I change that? Oh, I must not be able to change it now. Ah, that's annoying. Well, oh well, we're going to be taxiing into a big, massive gate now, rather than parking, which I would have rather park at. But it doesn't look like we're going to be able to do that now, because I pressed the wrong button. Woohoo. What a way to finish off the stream, me pressing the wrong button. That's a perfect way to commemorate this series on its way out. Well, not this series, the tour. Obviously the series will carry on, just with a different tour. There's also a seaplane tour, and we could use a seaplane, but the seaplane, this is quite slow, and some of the flights are quite long. So we might end up with some 2-hour-long VFR stuff, which can get a bit boring. So, I don't know. There's a Luxair, looking plane that. That'll be off to Luxembourg, obviously. I don't think Luxair fly anywhere else, do they? I think they only fly to Luxembourg. I don't know where else they fly. They fly out of Luxembourg and they fly into Luxembourg. And they just visit all the airports across Europe. I mean, there's no other airports in Luxembourg, I don't think, unless Luxembourg has more than one. Like the Luxembourg, because isn't Luxembourg it's a country, but it's also a city? It's a bit odd like that. I don't know, we'll park among the big boys here at Gate Golf 70. I would have rather used the parking stands. A lot of them are occupied actually, but there are some that are available. The gates occupied. There's one available in 7 minutes. Well, that one's got a delay of 151 minutes. Something's gone wrong with that plane then, clearly. That isn't leaving for some reason. Unless it's it doesn't mean it's leaving in 151 minutes and it's delayed, or oh yeah, it says delay 152. So obviously there should have been a plane that's left and it hasn't. It's quite cool actually. You can see the schedule of the airport almost. We've been given a small stand, so just have to keep it, I think. Looks like we're in here, look, because Gate Golf 69 is occupied, so we'll be parking right next to another plane, I think. So it's probably one of these. It's a remote stand, I think. Is it a remote stand? I think most of them are remote stands here, actually. It is a remote. Well, it's not necessarily remote, but it hasn't got a jetway. That's for certain. It looks like we're in here, look. I think that, if that's possibly gate 69, we'll be next to that one there, that big Austrian. Is it a 767, I want to say? It's a Boeing of some description, some sort. Who knows what. There's the lot, there's an Austrian, some more Austrians. It's just full of Austrian planes, this airport, really. Hasn't got much else in it. There's the Lux there, the Qatar and the lot. And apart from that, I'm not sure what else. But yeah, hello, welcome everyone, guys, to Vienna. I probably said that earlier, but, you know. Say it again. Said it once, I'll say it again. Yeah, we're parking next to that Austrian. So it's going to be quite funny, actually, this comparison. We're obviously a teeny plane, and that's quite a massive plane. So, time for the laughs. Unfortunately, I think because the AI packs are so old, all of these are in Austrian's old livery. Or at least I think it's an old livery, because from what I remember, I don't know, the livery itself doesn't look particularly different, but Austrian do not have a blue belly on their planes. Anymore, at least. Is that a Qatar A320? What's that doing here? I would have thought it would be a bigger plane. That seriously looks like it is an A320, I think. Couldn't they fly a Dreamliner from Vienna to Doha? Unless it's like their business A320 that like flies all over the place, but I don't think that operates much, and I seriously doubt that the AI pack is coded for that. Yeah, that looks like a 767. OELPB. I'll have a look at it afterwards, like right click, to try and view it after I finish the recording, because obviously if it crashes then, who cares? We finished the recording, it doesn't matter. So we'll park there, and we'll shut off the engines. Another plane has got moving. Was it the one that was delayed by any chance? I can't view that now. Actually, I can if I click this. No, the one that's delayed just is delayed, I think. Something's gone wrong there, clearly. Right, we'll stop recording. There. And that's the tour finished, guys. That's it. I mean, believe it or not. That's it. I'm just renaming something inside. Right, so 767 OELP. So it'll be one of these actually. So it's a 777, is it? LPD? Is it that one? Yeah, it is. So it's a 777. They do operate 767s, and they do look pretty similar, I've got to say. And it's not crashing when I'm right clicking. This is weirdly suspicious. Oh, the Luxor's just taking off. Cool. What else we got here? So there's a Finnair on the ground. Oh, that's another one. There's an Air France over there. There's a Lufthansa that's either taking off or landing here. These are all in the air now. These Wizz Airs and this is the Qatar A320. I'm gonna look at that now. Vienna to Doha. I mean, obviously it's a bit of an old AI package, so the flights that they run now won't be accurate. I'm just tempted. So QR183, they use an A350. Rarely, mostly it's a Dreamliner. They used an A330 on one day, but it looks like the most common is a Dreamliner 787-8. Odd. Right, yeah, it's just a Dreamliner. Okay. Looks like is this at Vienna now? No, it's at another airport outside of Vienna. That's great. How Ryanair is that? Using a different airport. Anyway, back to our plane now. Thank you guys so much for your support on this FSX VFR series. I will name actually a couple of choices now. for some other flying club tours that we could do. And if you guys want to comment, put down in the comment section what you'd like. So we've got a New Zealand tour, which has got no overly long hops. The biggest hop is 64 miles. So this one is 39 legs, and they're all quite short. You've got an Australia tour. This one doesn't actually have the time duration. So there's a 101 mile hop there, though. There's another 101 mile. Got an 80 mile. So there's some longer hops on that one that would be one flight per stream. To fit within the hour, and then you've got some shorter ones. That looks like it's round the whole of Australia. There's 120 mile there. If you look at a map, it's round the coast, the whole coast of Australia, pretty much. So, I don't actually. Let's have a look. It is, oh my word, it is 52 legs. So that one would go on for quite a while. There's quite a nice little Greek islands tour. I like the Greek islands. There's a 73 mile tour, 68 mile, 81 mile. So again, it's in the region of a little bit per stream. And that is 29 legs. And then the one I was looking at was the Swedish VFR tour. So again, this one, they're about 60 miles and under a hop per journey. So quite decent. The longest one there's a 70 mile. There is a 77 mile hop. And the page has gone weird. What else we got? There's an 85 mile. I think 85 miles is probably the longest. There's a 90. And there's a 90 mile hop, and that's 35 legs, so it's not too bad. There's a Norway VFR tour. There is some Tasmania one with some Orbeck scenery. There's a free Orbeck scenery, and they've made this to try and get the best look, maybe. There's a Southern Europe one, but I don't want to do Southern Europe since we've already done that. There's an Alaskan. Oh, here you go. There's a new one. You got Spain and Portugal, so we could tour Portugal. Maybe that's quite a small country, so I can imagine it being not too many legs. It's about 16 legs, and the longest flight's about 100 miles. So we could do the Portuguese tour. So just to name a few, we've basically got Portuguese tour, Swedish. There's a lot that we can have. So big up. I'll stop chatting about that. And to be honest, a lot of that was basically just lengthen the stream. I didn't intend that to be. I didn't intend it, but there you go. So we're up to 50 minutes in the end. So if you guys have any suggestions on what to do next, please say. If not, we'll probably end up doing the Portuguese one or the Swedish one. But I'd love to hear you guys' inputs on it. If you guys want to see a particular tour, then I will be happy to do it. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.